So, if to anyone that believes in religion or spirituality or anything else like that, and would believe that, I don't know, there's this a lot of murky water, right? Parallel universes and different stuff like that. I'm very interested in this stuff. However, I think that the parallel universe that should be more focused in is within ourselves. Wouldn't you think so? So like the light and dark within us, which we all have it. We all have a conscious choice to do something in the dark, or, and when we talk about the dark, I mean, it's a hell of a label to say, okay, then it's easy for humans to understand it in this aspect of all things that you would consider evil. Then, name the above. Do we need to? You could make an active choice to go out and murder people. That's an active choice.
Yes.
And you, the vessel in the middle of these two polarities, you have that choice to do that. Mm-hmm. You have a choice to become destructive. You have a choice to do all of these things. By and large, whether it matters or not, is another story. That's the vessel in the middle, right? And you also have an equal choice to do things creative, do things more loving, do things more... But the vessel in the middle usually operates from reason.
Yeah.
A reason, usually people can create some really massive reasons as to why they do something in that side. And likewise create a lot of reasons to do something in the opposite side.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can say it's about choice. It's partly reflection of inside, but also the outer side, let's say, the outside of you to do. And whether we're going to get into sacrifices and different things like that. Well, the whole existence is a sacrifice. Sacrificial ritual, if you want to put it that way. Well, whether it's from a natural vegan, let's say, herbivore. Yeah. There's no such thing as a true herbivore. Well, we take the rabbit. Oh, yes, it is. It eats nothing but salads and stuff. That's not true, though, is it? Because if there is a bug crawling on the Z object that the rabbit is going to eat, it is not going to spit it out because it's got something on it. It's going to eat it. Whether that be a snail, slug, mites, spider mites, whatever the plant... This planet is infested with life when we look at it. You can't move without being sacrificial in some way. So to build a house, you destroy a habitat. And therefore, that is saying then, well, I need this shell. You're going to take from something in order to give something, whether it's for somebody else or for yourself. Either or, you look at that. But no such thing as a true herbivore, really, when we think about it. You would have to see the rabbit go and wash off all of this, and the rabbit would have to use pesticides and different things like that. And in that unconscious decision, I must eat. And then if we look at it in a little bit more of a depth, let's say, that plant is alive. And if it eats it, sure, it might not eat the root and it might grow back, but not for that season. And it might not produce seeds, whatever else, maybe not. And even seeds are basically like looking at tree babies, eggs, whichever way you want to put it, that if you eat the seed, you are saying that the tree or plant cannot grow because I need to live. That is a sacrifice, is it not? And it's not satanic. It is, by and large, unconscious and conscious decisions, an outside force to affect the inside force of turn off hunger, and the outside world, but to anything else looking in on that with a mind that has the ability to think, and not just think, but also sit back and really look at that. I think that's the difference between us and animals, I think, that we think about it a little bit more in depth than most. I'm just going to eat. Humans are, by and large, or any intelligent beings, by and large, will have this in-depth thought. So you would say then, in that case, that if I'm going to eat a chicken, or you are going to eat a chicken, or pick your meat, I'm going to eat this, and this must die in order for me to live. I need my freedom to walk through the woods and explore the world. How many bugs and stuff do you tread on in that process? They must die for your freedom.
Yeah.
In a sense. So, by and large, wherever you sit on the fence with that one. Now, that's just not trying to prove a point or disprove a point, but and then if we say, oh, I'll be vegan. Every way I've tried to look at this situation or this whole conversation in my mind, there is no real way that you can overcome this.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, there will always be sacrifices being made, give and a take and a give.
Yeah.
So to take a life to give life, or to prolong a life,
Yeah.
or to prolong a species.
Mm.
Species, either or.
Yeah.
So again, but a conscious decision. And then this moves me on to religion or God or belief. That there is no way on this plane of existence, including the whole entire universe, that a God is going to judge you by that. Absolutely none at all. In a way, in an essence, in a sort of way, in a hypocritical way, there won't be much judgment on that. There will be questions asked, I'm sure, as many other beings would be asked the same questions. Now, how does this move into it? Because conscious decisions, right? So, a particular life form on this particular planet has been given a gift to be more conscious of these questions and to look at these questions. But why would you want to look at these? Well, that is a gift of that understanding. And then if you were to carry on doing things that were certainly, that would then pose a question as to why did you carry on doing that? If you were awakened as a whole entire species, you've all been awakened. Every single one of you. Now, I asked the question here because we all hear about this whole apocalypse and stuff. To be a god would also to be satanic. The views on human interpretation of that there would be one that is dark and one that is light, good or bad, and so forth and so on, and come down, and the two forces will begin to ravage. No. God is both. Both of these forces, but a vessel in the middle, the medium, the understanding in that, and then we'll understand the universal medium and eternal life. Figure of 8, break it in half. You've got 2 3s, 33. Put 2 3s together, and you've got the figure of 8 again. Absolutely wonderful. And then you would understand that 3 being 1, 2, and 3. One lotus flower opening whilst another one is closing. Whilst another one, and 2 must be in a state of constant change in order for 1 to be a medium, much like we build houses to shield you from all of the elements that may fall, the cold, the wind, not extreme wind, but I'm sure it could be done. Flooding, perhaps. I'm sure it could be done. There's nothing you can't do if you didn't think about it in depth. How to protect. This is always possible. The possibilities are endless, and your minds are endless tools to create new possibilities and make breakthroughs from it. Absolutely, sure. And no one is going to be perfect. That is for sure. That is a big, big, big takeaway from all of this, that no one is going to be truly perfect. So, a light and a dark. I represent this as a wing. One wing of one and one wing of another. To have 2 constant disrupting forces changing, transforming. This continuousness, if you like, to keep something in the middle, such as your houses that you put over yourself to unify the environment within it. And therefore, you tap into this uniformness and say, glad to be home. Out of those changing elements that are out there. So we could look at this in another way, that if you take a piece of fruit and you cut it open inside your uniform environment and leave it here, and take the other half of this piece of fruit, put it outside, which one is going to be devoured quicker? Well, the one outside, obviously, there's going to be other life forms happening to this and eat and rah. But the one in the uniform environment is slightly more protected. So you can understand that it's a layer of protection. Intelligence is an amazing thing. Intelligence, the very essence of the medium that is protected by the very intelligence that you share, a 0.1%, if you want to break it down into figures and run away with that. What you possess and your internal voice, whether it questions you about the right nor wrong, you make the active decision to listen to or to ignore it. That is your choice. No pressure. No one has to do anything. Has to. Only if you want to. But again, it poses more questions. If you believe that you are the only beings in this whole expanse and the other expanse, if you believe that you are the only beings inside all of this, then I ask you a question. That if Jesus came down and said what he needed to say, but he's very forgiving. I wouldn't on the caution when I would assume that God would be too. I do not think so. And you see, this is the whole thing that is then it would indicate that vessels come down from wherever, whenever, however. And if you look at it from the greater expanse of the whole entire universe, everywhere, every galaxy that is out there, and you were to say, there's just humans. That is a very silly thing to believe, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because I wonder if it poses something else, okay? So if these vessels came down, and I've used the word if very lightly, but I think in your heart of hearts you know, no way is that voice responsible for any misery or any greatness within you. I think it's a guide, yes, a guide. It's up to you how you interpret any of this, but a guiding light, yes, I understand. That is a very beautiful way to put it, yes. But undoubtedly, you had the choice to do great, or you had a choice to do bad. That was your choice. There was no force on that, no pressure. And if there was guiding lights that come, and they wouldn't be using walkie-talkies or high-powered radios to communicate. No. No, they would communicate in a very, very, very beautiful way that is intelligent, clever. Now, each planet that possesses life forms would be given the same opportunities. But I can assure you that the choices that are made on these planes, nets, would be different. So it wouldn't matter whether one form did or didn't do, or listened or didn't listen, because it's time to move on. Time to move on to another, and another, and another. And then why? Well, the why is a very... not there yet. We're not going to dive into that just yet. Because everyone has choice, yes? Choice. Choice to get around someone, and a choice to not get around someone, isn't it? It's very much choicey, very choicey, chosen-y, choicey. And so the choice would be to say Tesla, Einstein, just keep going to all individuals with certain abilities, Leonardo da Vinci, keep going, Galileo and different things like that. Now, their individual choices was to excel, yes, or to create or do or manifest beautiful technologies and bring in new eras for everyone to share and go forth about their ways. But the choices outside of them may have said, no. No, you cannot do those things. That's a choice. But ask yourself this. What if there was another plain net of individuals that decided to get around these types? Let's say Da Vinci is then put on somewhere else. What if these other beings decided to not do the same behavior that, say, Earth would do? So we would look at that as then, what, Da Vinci or Galileo? That religion might put you in house arrest. May try and suppress you down so that you can't excel. And whether this is about a king or a queen, because you must not outstage a king or a queen. Which I then get back to the U-turn understanding of, are you sure God put you there to do that? I ask that question. I want, it's rhetorical actually, I don't need an answer. You need to find the answer. You see, the thing is, that's no skin off of God's nose, I can assure you on that one. Because where you may act like this, what if other beings out there in the cosmos were different? What if they got behind individuals that were like this? And they began to excel them? So Galileo made a few breakthroughs, but I ask you this. How many more could he have made if the people got around him? If they got behind him rather than hindered him? What if they helped him? Or her, or anybody else in that matter, got behind Mary, or Jesus, or take your pick. There's been many of them. Now, what if these are the tests? What if these are the ones that come down, the vessels that come down? The finest of the fine. They are sworn to a secrecy that they uphold all the way through. Very integral. What if these vessels are the ones, and these are the tests? While living, not afterwards. There is no need to explain or pray or ask for forgiveness. That's not... What does that going to achieve? Then, would you ever see the medium? I ask you that. I ask you whether you would ever see the medium. The bit in the middle. The place where you would say a kingdom. If you understand it from a kingdom perspective. Everyone understands kingdoms, yes?
Yeah, kingdom, yeah.
So what about if on Earth, everything on Earth is reflective of what is going on above you? Not above. Is going on somewhere, yes, within this changing environment. Somewhere there is harmony. Somewhere there is eternity. And you are taken out of this living that you're in. And are lifted. If you would say into heaven. Into God's kingdom of stability, security, intelligence, the quantum field, color. You will see more, do more, know more, experience more. That bit.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, but cherry picking, right?
Yeah.
Like you in what you do, and what you do as a grand scheme of things, is probably done. Oh yes, I say probable, and I laugh, but still, probably done.
Yeah.
Only the best fruits will do, right? The best.
The best.
That is what I call cherry picking.
Yes, it is.
And then I ask from a national security perspective, that does suppression let it down for everybody, or is it going to help everyone? Because if you don't then that is a belief that others will do the same as what you will. Time. There's one thing in this changing, in this mixing. You are limited to time.
Yes.
Now, what's time? Time is not some clock that gets you into work at a set time and you got to clock in at that time. No. No time. Time is like, what would Einstein have been able to achieve if given more time?
Yeah.
So you only experienced 1% of his true power. Tesla's 1% of his true power. Only 1%, and only 1% can you ever experience in a whole lifetime. Well, is it really 1%, or could you have got more if you pull more?
Yeah.
And then, if you are focusing on, I don't know, where do you put your attention? War, debris, destruction. Everybody in the world is trying to create a kingdom of perfection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whose is the best?
Don't know.
But in a kingdom of perfection, there is unity. How much more better perfection could you create if there was a unity, a unified approach?
There would be understanding and agreement, wouldn't it?
How much more faster could you pull through more? And then I asked the question of, if this was seen, which it would be within, you might get more and more and more and more and more. And what is a trickle turns into a torrent. Given more time. Time is a factor based upon extinction ratio. Time is a factor of how many worlds there are within this whole entire universe that actually harbor life. And then the time spent on these before the whole cycles begin to wind down and become a part where it's not stable enough to operate in this manner anymore. Then mass extinctions start to happen. And then, if there is a vessel that is one wing of darkness and one wing of light, but the vessel in the middle chooses to more favor a creativity, a more harmonious, a more better existence, then why would that vessel come and take you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and bring disruption, chaos, into something that was more universal or more balanced? What would you bring into your palace? Riff-raff?
No.
Interesting. What would you bring into your home? Would it be a place where someone's struggling and you walk past them? Or would you help?
In unified world, you would help, wouldn't you?
You would help.
Yeah.
You would help.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe so.
Yeah.
Because if you can help another, then sure as shit you can help yourselves. And that is helping yourself collectively, is it not?
Yeah.
And then if you can help yourselves and help each other, that is like putting the oxygen mask on yourselves first before you go on to the bigger tasks.
Yeah.
And the Teslas, the Einsteins, they become the teachers. The teachers that need to go on and are limited to time. And that time is then limited to how much can be pulled through at one time. And then what does that do to support you if this information is pulled through but never used? Because the focus is always focused on stuff that might not be great. No pressure. But another life forms out there that were more aligned to this, we get behind people, we see unity, we do this, this, and this. How much more would they advance compared to humanity? Think about it. Well, they would leave their planet.
Yeah.
They would operate from being able to know what to do in certain times. Because that voice, an internal voice that guides, will one day be turned off if you make it. And then you'll operate from your authentic selves. That is any beings within. They then begin to operate from the medium's understanding. Yes?
Yeah.
The intelligence that protects it.
Yeah.
And then if you are authentic, does it let you through?
Yeah.
If you're not, it does not. And then why would it collect you? Why would it not just let it break down and then the cycle tries over again? Does the same thing rise up? Well, I don't know. Wouldn't you put a lot of trickery in the way? A lot of ifs and buts into the making, into the mindsets, into the understanding, and then, well, where do you go with all of that? If you try it from a perspective that everybody is welcome in this kingdom, and it didn't work, then it's this, and this, and this. That doesn't work, then this, and this. And once you've exhausted all of those, well, isn't it time to move on? Go elsewhere. Put the energy into something that is willing to accept the energy and work with it. And then ask yourself another question, that if there was this medium, I'm not going to say if there was a soul, then I'm going to say if, and if there was eternity, the one shared belief throughout the whole of this intelligence that has been blessed within humans is always a belief of a beyond, has been carried over. Only now do we sort of start to see this atheism, but when you really stretch an atheist, there is still belief that there could be something, but they don't know what to believe. And they sort of shut it down with this because society expects this to be this, and this, and you believe in something, It's just sort of hands that pull me down, or you down, and they down, and us down. And then where does national security sit in that? Where one other unified collective somewhere else starts to then begin to, and then where does that then formulate trust? Well, do you have these weapons? Are you going to use them on each other? Or is there more weapons that you might need to know but might not actually be weapons? They just look like it, or could be used at. Anything is deadly when you think about it. Electricity, all the way up to rocks, to sticks, to stones, to boulders, to guns, to bombs, to bullets, and planes and tanks, and even commercial airplanes and buses and trains and trams and cars, and even you, your vessel, yourself.
Yeah.
Again, choice. Or could all of these things be used for something else? Goodness, good. Creativity. Could it be the steps that help you come together in order to step off the planet, thus for giving you more time? Gene pools and different things like this. So you'd say, these gene pools over here, these people should all be... And then later on you figure out that, oh shit, we need those gene pools. It's very interesting. It's very interesting that could you need certain gene pools in order to stop something from happening, such as an extinction further on? The right sort of mixing, the right sort of this, the right sort of that. Even a medicine can be used as a weapon.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah, you can't understand that.
Yeah.
That is a confusing one, right? You take too much of a medicine, what happens? Well, doesn't it have a detrimental effect? If you don't use enough of the medicine, it also has a detrimental effect. Don't use the medicine at all, and it also has a detrimental effect. There is a very fine balance between finding it and getting it right.
Yeah.
And then you would believe that would point in, we must just all be bad people then, right? We must start to become bad. Because everything points towards bad and destruction and this, and this. But it depends where you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Creativity or destruction. Is the universe creating a haven for you to exist in, a place for you to be in, for a limited amount of time?
Yeah.
while these are in balance at this spectrum here, this allows you to rise.
Yeah.
If you don't monitor all of those things that you've grown accustomed to, and when it starts to change, it then makes you realize, oh, we need that, oh, we need that, oh, we also need this.
Yeah.
Well, this sort of helps you, and doesn't sort of, it does help you to build a perfect replica of an Earth, let's say.
Yeah.
And then you can look at the star, Ra, and be understanding that the sun is giving life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
But temporarily. So you can look at that as a creator and, oh, good and godly and wonderful, but eventually it will begin to take it all back. Unless you do something about your fate. But not just your fate. What about the animal's fate? What about the plant's fate? Again, a massive test, right? Because if you believe, whatever, apply your, belief system in here.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe. Why did it give so many life forms for you to just ignore?
Yeah, there are so many life forms.
For you to ignore them, or the challenge that if it can be created on a plain net, just a simple body of rock, water, many other things. Yes, we could mix these in all day, and giving you the light and the dark and different things like this to create hormone and different stuff like that, and many different other things. So all of these things to be given, yes? And it was created for you once, and therefore everything that was on it was put on it, evolved on it. Damn, you'd have to think that a monkey bred with some sort of reptile to create humans. Wow, what an interesting understanding. Anyway, so never mind. That's we'll go on to that one another time. And if it was all given like that, then what happens if you lifted it all and then created the very thing that was once given to you, created for you?
Yeah.
To exist on, in, around, and then you go on to be the creators. Because if you create something, you know it very well, right? You start to understand it a lot more better than you did if you were just born on an earth and really just, played hunter-gatherer all the time. If you just played hunter-gatherer, well, you're not really learning much, really, about the environment around you. And then you learn the environment around you by being in this change. Yeah. And what does that help you do? What is that preparing you for, collectively? Move on, yeah, to create your own. And then why would that be so important for you to create your own? What happens if you were taken in the medium and a new universal structure, one side was starting to pan out? What could you go and do? Well, you find your love, right? Your passion for whatever it is that you do, whether that be art, creativity, writing, reading, learning how to speak many different languages, or painting, or figuring things out, or studying rocks, or knowing. What does this help you become? Really good teachers.
Yeah. Teachers.
Yeah. If you are taught by a teacher, could you go on to be a teacher yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So different people have different fascinations for certain different things, and yes, there's a large amount of people that are fascinated by the whether we live true and authentic in that aspect and get to do what you truly love, then how would you ever know what you're going to be good at? And what would you do with eternity? We hear people talk about eternity. This, and what would you do for eternity? Well, you pick that job that you love to do, right? Well, then do you not think that that job is instilled that you then, I like this. Okay, sorting process. Now, would you go on to be a helper of other life forms in your situation that you're in now? Where you go down and you influence them, help them.
Yeah.
But then what would be the point of that? Because you wouldn't like doing what you're doing. You're going to go to another planet and you're going to go and work in a chicken factory. You're going to go to another planet and do the thing that you hated doing for eternity.
Mhm.
Or are you going to go to another planet and do the thing you love and therefore be authentic about it and also inspire many, many other beings, let's say?
Yeah.
Does that not fit a puzzle for you?
Yeah, that does.
You all hold pieces. Every single one of you hold pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or would you go there, build a kingdom, and sit on your throne and do absolutely nothing but dictate and control? Because I'd like to know where your hotline is for God.
Mm.
No, I would love to know where that is,
Yeah.
where that resides, where you have the nerve
Yeah.
to state that. Because I don't think you're doing God's work at all. In fact, I don't even think you're hitting a percentage of God's work.
Yeah.
Just want you to think about that.
Mm.
That's why I ask these questions are very much rhetorical, and I'm going to say rhetorical because I like to use that word more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You would give God a very bad name. A very bad name. You would tarnish heaven with your bullshit. Your bullshit. That is what you would do. Just as long as you've got your good excuses lined up, and I hope they're good. I really do, because I would love to be a fly on the wall to that conversation.
Yeah.
You would love people to be a fly on the wall to that conversation. You'd love God to be the fly on the wall to that conversation and not actually be there present. And then I ask, where is your plan for all of your people? Because shouldn't that be then, if you're doing God's work, God's people, God's children?
Yeah.
Where is your unity? Where is your unifying nature? Where is it that you are rallying people together, making them all come together? Where are you finding their talents and putting them on their right path? If you are doing God's work, then where is that? In suppression and depression and oppression and threat.
Yeah. That's all there is.
Where is it? Am I as dumb as this table?
No, Your Honor.
There's another for you to think about. There's a lot of threat for people.
Yeah.
If you do not do, here's a prison for you.
Mm.
Okie dokie. Then if you don't do God's work, then there will equally be a prison for you. Would it make you change? Would it make you operate? Would it make you go anywhere? Would it? Goes against the choice, doesn't it? I just, these are very interesting questions, but there again, I think they need to be asked. I will not give up on you. I will not give up on any of you. In fact, no, not at all. Till the end. Till the end. And is it called till the end of time or till the end of the cycle? What do you do with rubbish?
Recycle it.
Recycle it. One cycle, recycle, cycle, recycle.
But you make it in something different usually.
Exactly. Because even from rubbish or ashes, not ashes, from rubbish you can transform. You see, that is where it operates from. This level is via threat.
Yeah.
And punishment and consequence if you do not do. Where's yours?
Yeah.
And then that is why you do what you like. When you like, how you like, whenever you like.
Yeah.
Where is unity in that?
That's not unity.
Getting behind the people. All people. I think that is where unity lies. That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Lifting one another up. That is strength. Not division, but unity. Get behind your people.
Mm-hmm.
So you say your people.
Yeah.
And you don't quit on them.
Mm.
No quitting. Why would you quit? Why would you give up? You wouldn't give up. You would go, 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 go. And it kickstarts something until it begins to start to unite the whole entire world. And then more products can be made, more things can be brought through that then uplift everyone. Therefore, no longer to be these good things can be used as weapons, right? So let's say if you were to make space farms that could also act to block out some of this sunlight. Massive, massive farms that go above the planet. And the light would hit the back of these, but they would have protective shields on them that would refract the light, reflect the light, deflect it. Not too much to kill off all of the things on the earth, but just enough to umbrella the worst of it, let's say.
Yeah.
And at the same time, whilst we say refract, it could grow food that could just be dropped down to the nations below.
Yeah.
But they'd have to be, all leaders would have to sign a treaty that these would never be used as a political advantage or never be shot down or sabotage in any way. They have to be shared very equally.
Yeah.
A constant food supply. And a way of shielding the earth from the worst bits of the sun could throw at it, let's say. Converting the moon into things.
Yeah.
Other planets. Although this sort of is indirectly, it would seem like a waste of time to do it that way. It would be nice to colonize these as well, but not with the plans to stay. Not with the plans to promote more control and this, that, and the other. No. These farms that could be built, let's say in space, to deflect most of this heat.
Yeah.
Rather than digging underground somewhere, I think this is a better alternate.
Yeah.
And then if there is horrible ice age, let's say, come along, this also equally is going to help too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's uniform environment, while space is going to practically stay near enough in its ratio from one extreme to another. You master it. And then if it's time to go, let's say, well, you just bring these together. You've already got the farms that would already feed the people. Now you just need the vessel to harbour all of these people when it's time to go and support the individuals within it.
Yeah.
And make way.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be such an ideal world?
That would
You would create it.
Yeah.
One that was not subject to flooding. Well, unless you have a little accident in there with your water systems and different stuff like that. Sure. Problems, teething problems and stuff, but eventually it would be so perfect.
Yeah.
Perhaps then given your species more time.
Mm-hmm.
More time. More time to do what? More time to run away with health and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Less nasty niggeries around. Because the planet is subject to, now and then, these could melt down and it's going to change over here and climate there and this, that and the other. Well, if it was more tempered for most of the beings, let's say on the vessels on a vessel, then wouldn't this give you more time to make more breakthroughs? Then, if you clean the air on these, which it would be much more better than the Earth is always going to be contaminated, no matter what you do. Stop driving cars, stop smoking. But what about volcanoes?
Yeah.
What about the debris that burn after the volcano spits it out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a new plant over here, never seen this before on the planet, and now the volcano is going to spill into this vegetation, causing these gases to be released. They've never been experienced before because that plant didn't exist before. Therefore, there's a new composition getting into the... We all breathe. There's always going to be contaminated. Then you look at water as well. When the sea is sweating, which sweats fresh water, and then this gathers on the land and pulls in all the nutrients back into the ocean. And then if there's new plants, new this, new drop down, new soil, there's new mixing going into that soup. That is out of your control. But on a vessel that you've created, well, that's well within your control. And we always control the wrong things, right? But let's control the right things. Environment is left and our food supplies are left to the control of the environment that is constantly in fluctuation. It's in flux, state of flux. On your own vessel, it's not going to be fluctuating.
Mm-hmm.
Still going?
Yeah.
It's not going to be fluctuating. It's not going to be changing. You're going to make that uniform environment. Then the air is going to become more uniform, more than any human has ever experienced. Then the water is going to become more uniform, or I should say, more pure. So that the fact that every breath you take in, the lungs are going to drink this. It's going to be much better for health.
Yeah.
Then how much more longer will you live as a species? Then giving you individually more time. And with this more time, could you then create something that helps you live even longer or defy death completely?
Yeah.
But if you go extinct on your planet, then you run out of time. And then that achievement or breakthrough never gets made because you ran out of time. I don't know where most of this all comes from, but there you are. And then this is then puts humanity on the path, the right path, collectively on the right path to give more time. That is setting everything up to win. And then if you are able to then create eternity within this vessel and meet other life forms, well, that is very interesting. What knowledge do they possess? They could come to this teaching each other, learn even more things, because their time was spent learning things in a different direction, in a different direction, in another direction, in another direction, that they had only a set amount of time and their thinking pattern went this way. Your thinking pattern went this way. Their thinking pattern over there went in this direction, and they'd spent an awful lot of time learning this stuff. You spent an awful lot of time learning this stuff, which is different to what they have learned. You help them by being teachers. Again, this teaching process then comes about. It's very fascinating, really. We teach ourselves individually, and then is a possibility right now that you could go on to teach others. And they, at the same time, would be able to teach you stuff that would take you, if been around for, let's say, if you've been on this planet for 1 billion years, no, let's just say 1 million years, just keep it smaller. If you've been here for 1 million years and they've been there for 1 million years learning something, it would take you 1 million years to learn, which it wouldn't take you 1 million years for them to teach you it, because they would teach you the ways that get you to there quicker. They learn the hard way, and hit lots of walls in this and stagnation along the way. Absolutely. They would teach you the fast track way, and you could teach them the fast track way, and these could teach you the fast track way. Think about all that extra knowing and different ways to do things. If there was different food there, different plant matter, different stuff like this, anyway, and yours was slightly different, well, that's even more food. Does this then stop your extinction of food? There's more to eat. Yes, some of it is going to be highly toxic, maybe take time to adjust to. Trial and error. But it wouldn't be like test it while eating it. It would be test it via a different way of doing that. So before would have been hunter-gatherers eating things and, oh, this one caused the lips to get a bit puffed. Not these, but these ones were okay. Okay, I'm going to try and eat this and swallow it now. Okay, this was good. This was good. Try this. It's very nice. You wouldn't be teaching them to eat this. No. This one, not so good. Nowadays, it's more testing. What is... And you can look at this now by knowing the pattern and different things, and knowledge has helped you come a long way. And I'm sure as anything that food would be the most sentiment of the value, right? The centerpiece. Because it keeps you existing. Different animals, different technologies, different understandings. And it won't take you a million years to learn it. It could take you decades at most, but if you are living longer, what if they figure out something that you didn't? Or what if you all hold the pieces to figure this out? What if you all hold the pieces, and what if you're all being led on the pyramid up to this medium? But in order for the intelligence to let you in, that's 1% of intelligence over there, 1% of intelligence over here, 1% of intelligence over here. Starts to equal your intelligence, which matches the medium's intelligence, which, just like a white blood cell, lets you in. Or, if you want to look at it another way, the sperm versus the egg. Aha. Bit like a comet's tail, really. Either or. But still, and isn't it weird how comets seed planets? The egg being the planet, the comet and its tail look like the seed.
Yeah.
Isn't this very interesting? What's going on above? If you ever look at it.
And what comes your way, what is brought.
Well, these things seem to run on. But anyway, I really got some stuff to be doing, even though I should probably be sitting down talking about this a little bit more. But I'm gonna just leave this one here, I think. And I think it was quite a nice video, to be fair. I think it was very good the way it came out, and I'm very impressed with it. So yeah, lots to think about. No right or wrong answer, and there's no force at all. There's no reason to feel fearful or anything else like that. None at all. Not that anyone would. But I believe there's no need to fear things. You don't fear, in a way, when the mind is too busy conjuring up lots of scenarios, different alternate things, constantly. That's not fear. That is thinking. Many different scenarios, right? Could be this. Okay, oh, but what if it's this? Oh, it could be that. All right, now it's this. If you can't land on something, how do you ever feel fearful of that? You don't. You sort of more fear what you know, I would say, not what you don't know. Because I think, personally, I feel that. You fear what you know. If you know something is coming, that you absolutely know is coming, that's when it makes you fear. But what you don't know keeps you guessing, right? Keep coming up with alternate. And there's no that you must do this. It's again, it's all linked in choice. Choice at the end of the day. Choose it, don't choose it. Still a choice, but still, it's whatever. But is it choice of everybody? And then I'll have to ask, is it fair if it's just a choice of a few? I'm not sure. And I am and I'm not, and I'm on the fence about it. The greater good, right? The greater good. And then it's in your ability. Do you think you can achieve this? you see, via the suppression of one, do you think you can achieve what it is that needs to be achieved? And if so, well, I would look at that as something that, interesting. Look at how this ball got rolling. Look at that. That's very interesting. Okay, yeah, I see why you did that. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Ask yourself that question. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be okay if it was leading somewhere that was collective? And then why would it need to be collective? Well, if you're going to enter into a medium, how many other vessels do you think are in it? How many other life forms are in it?
Many.
Many. How many? That's, again, rhetorical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's just something to think about. So, race, sexuality, what else is there? Gender, age? Is this one? Color of eyes? The way we look? Honestly, that's all the small shite. No one worries about that. Because let's look at the big stuff here. And then there is the biggest test of all, isn't it? Coming together with your united differences.
Mm-hmm.
Indifferences? Differences. No? Differences.
Difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can unite it here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're on the right lines.
Yeah.
You'll do just well there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's much bigger, much more of an... there you are. Many different backgrounds. And then how much can you learn from that? How much could you gain? You've got more to gain with less to lose in that. So, so just be proud no matter what or who you are and what you do, or, you know, choice. Love's love, meat's meat, skin's skin. That's it.